Hey everyone, this is Kim Quady with KimPlaysWithPaper.com. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Mesa, Arizona, and I try to visit with you live each Tuesday morning at 8:30 Arizona time and share a fun stamping project with you. And today is no different. A week ago today, Stampin' Up's annual catalog went live. How exciting is that? Good morning, Margaret. Thanks for popping in. Say hi if you're here today. So yes, the catalog went live and there are so many fun and exciting items in there. I've been playing and playing and playing. So today, the suite of products I'm going to share with you is the Beauty of the Earth Suite collection. So I'll show you what all is in the collection. Then I will show you some cards that I have created with it. And again, I haven't even scratched the surface of it. I just started creating, and then we will make a card with that suite. So let's get started, and I will move my camera down to my workspace and show you what we've got going today. Thanks, Sharon, for popping in. Good to see you. Alrighty. So the suite collection I'm talking about is called Beauty of the Earth, and you can find it on pages 10 and 11 of Stampin' Up's brand new annual catalog. And in addition to the samples I'll be showing you, there's all kinds of samples in the catalog as well. So that's exciting. I'll put these aside for now just so I can show you. Comes with the Photopolymer Stamp Set. What I really like about this set, it works for masculine and feminine cards. It works for all occasions. It's a fresh, new stamp set that can be even used for lots of different seasons, from fall, winter, spring, and summer. So lots and lots of uses for this great set. Good morning, Beth. Thanks for popping in. One thing I did want to show you is a new feature on our photopolymer sets is that the inserts are printed with the stamps, so you can keep them in the case and then know what you have and what you don't have. All right, so that's the photopolymer set. The Thinking of You, I Believe in You. Hello, thinking of you. I even use that for sympathy quite a lot. The thank you, that's really important to me. Thinking of you, I'm also thinking of you on your birthday. You truly inspire me. And then friendships refresh the soul. So like I said, a good all occasion, masculine, feminine stamp set. Then we have the coordinating dies that go with it. So we'll have an outline here of the tree. We'll have a really fun label, and that fits a lot of those skinny little sentiments that we often have. Oh, this is a really fun one. This is the birds. I'll be using some birds, so you can make those birds any color you want. There is another, there's a die cut for more words. We have a die cut for some other tree elements. Good morning, Candace. Thanks for popping in. We have that tree image that coordinates, and then aside from that, let me pull this away. We also have a great big tree cutout, and then some leaves that you can adorn your tree with, or you could leave it bare. And then this coordinates, I'll get it. Coordinates with that, so you can have an outline of a tree. You'll see how I use those in some of the upcoming cards. Alrighty, so those are the coordinating dies. If you use the one number for the suite collection, you get the stamp set, the die, and it's the bark embossing folder, so that has some fun little impressions in that as well. There you go. And then the Beauty of the Earth 12 by 12 designer series paper. Good morning, Brenda and Sue. Thanks for popping in. Let me show you some of the awesome pieces of this designer series paper. And Lori, thanks for popping in. So there's the one side of those two, that sheet there. And then that has just a nice wood grain background. We can always use that. This sheet, this is fun. This is kind of your fall. So you could cut that in half and then cut that background for the cards to fit. The other side just has some tree images, kind of grassy tree images there. It's beautiful paper. Here's this. Lots of. And then on the other side, we have some just blue sky. I'll show you how I used this in a card as well. And then we have those leaves. This is kind of for your winter scene. Like I said, you could do fall, winter, spring, and summer with this set and the paper. And here's your fall. Beautiful, isn't it? Oh, look at that. I haven't used that yet. Didn't even turn that over. Wowee, that is beautiful. Cut some of those die cuts out of there and that would be awesome. And these would make some nice images as well if you wanted to, cut strip of those to use on your card. And then the other side is that. So that is our designer series paper. So that's what the sweet beauty of the earth looks like. Let me share a couple of cards that I've made. So this is the first one. I used the In Good Taste Designer Series paper. I did grab this. I was looking for a Father's Day sentiment. You do a great job of being a great guy, so I grabbed that from a good man. I cut that from the Designer Series paper and layered it on some basic cardstock, and then cut the tree image from the In Good Taste Designer Series paper as well. Here's the sentiment, the friendships refresh the soul. You see some of that beautiful designer series paper in the background. Again, I cut the tree from the In Good Taste designer series paper. There's some kind of bark wood looking paper in there. And I also used stamped on vellum with some stays on. Coordinating colors of Night of Navy and Mossy Meadow. This is a card that there's a free tutorial on my blog at kimplayswithpaper.com. Just a very clean and simple card with some stamping. The designer series paper. You can see all of that, the thinking of you. I made about 50 of these and they were inserted with my catalog. So that's another example. We created this card in class this week. So there you can see the bark embossing folder. I used the blue kind of skyish designer series paper. And then you can see you can cut out the little cardinal. I'm stuck on red cardinals, but the birds can be any color you want. So stitched rectangles dies with that as well. And then I started playing around with the card, and I don't know how you design, but I start with one idea in mind, and then it just kind of progresses. So this is the first thing I had in mind. I just stamped the trees, then I cut the tree again. But what I did with this, it's kind of hard to tell, but I used a piece of early espresso cardstock. I put some adhesive on the background, cut the tree out with the die, and then I ran it through the bark embossing folder. There's a little piece of designer series paper here along with that fun little sentiment. And if you can see that sentiment piece, this one here just has a little fun ridge on it. And I love that. So, I kind of like that. I stamped the ink directly onto the Mossy Meadow and then die cut that out. So I changed it up a little bit and went this way and just stamped the leaves on with basic white and die cut those out as well. And then I went one step farther and I used our blending brushes to create a background. So I used the coordinating colors of Bumblebee and Night of Navy, just put a light gloss on there, stamped directly on the card, and then put it together from there. So this is the one I'm going to show you today, how I put that together, doing a little bit of sponging. So I have the Bumblebee base, which is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Love my grid paper and need that to help me measure. I have a Mossy Meadow piece cut at 5 1/4 by 4. I have a I call it Whisper, basic white cut at 5 by 4 1/4. And then I have some scraps also for cutting and stamping. I've cut out the coordinating tag from the set for my sentiment. And here is my tree. So what I've done with the tree is I've attached some adhesive sheets to the back of a piece of early espresso cardstock that measures 2 by 3.5. So I popped that out, and then I ran it through the bark embossing folder. Just kind of a cool effect. And then I have a little piece of the designer series paper. A couple of those would work, different designs would work for that. That's 5 by about 3/4 of an inch. So I have my stamps all ready to go. We're going to do the blending brushes first, and hopefully you've seen these little beauties before. They debuted in Stampin' Up's January through June catalog, and they will carry over into the they've carried over into the annual. They're quite popular. Love them, love them, love them. It helps the background go on real smoothly. So I have to really watch myself. I really get ink everywhere if I'm not careful. So I'm just going to brush just a little gently on my Bumblebee pad, kind of start off the pad, and because I don't want a whole lot of color, and I'm going to just put some sky in here. It's just so smooth and easy to use. I have 2 sets of these. They wash out really easily. Just run them under some tap water and then let them dry, and you can use them again and again. But I find that sometimes I need a couple of extra for things that I want to try. So there's my sun for my little scene, and I'll put that away. Then I'm going to bring in my Night of Navy. Again, I don't want that very dark, and I know that I don't have to go down to the bottom because I'm going to have some of my designer series paper there. So I'll start off the edge and just bring in some color. I'm just tapping lightly and then just making little circles, as much as I can, starting off the edge, getting a little bit of that ink off of there, and just working in circles. And you're going to get a different effect each time you do it, and you just have to play with it and be gentle on yourself as you work. Good morning, Holly. Thanks for popping in. All right, I'm going to set that aside because I am finished with it. So now I can add my designer series piece, which was, here it is. How do I have to say? It was just here. Trust me. That piece measures, like I said, 5 by 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal Plus to pop that on there. I sometimes try to get my Stamparatus out, and I can tuck this in the corner so I get that on straight and none of the white space shows. but it's not within reach right now. So I'm gonna just put that right there. All right, and let's set that aside for a moment. We'll bring in our Stampin' Pierce mat with my photopolymer stamps. I really like to use the Stampin' Pierce mat to give me a little more cushion. So let's make the, I'll show you the technique for these, the bushes, the tops of the trees. Good morning, Sandy. Thanks for popping in. It's a two-step process, and it's really very pretty. And I'm using the same color. I'm only using Mossy Meadow. So I'm inking up my Mossy Meadow, and I'm going to just stamp right here and push down evenly and firmly, letting the ink soak into that cardstock. I'm going to pull that off. Pretty on its own, isn't it? So you could decide to use that. You could use a different color. Lots of different ways you could use this, but I'm just going to put the Mossy Meadow right on top of that, and it fits right about there, the outline, and so that's what you get. And then once you die cut that, I've got that little piece to go with it. But first we have to put, oh, I got ahead of myself. I needed to put my trees on, and let me see if I can do that. Pull that off. Normally you can't. I don't recommend it, but I do need to put the trees on before that on the bottom. Forgot about that. Got ahead of myself. Does that ever happen to you? I hope so. Or maybe your stamping is smooth. All right, so there's my tree. I'm just gonna put one here and put another here right on to that. All right. And then I am going to go ahead and add our tree right on top of that with our Mossy Meadow ink. Doing the trees the same as I did them for the one I die cut, but I'm going to stamp right on there, just covering up those branches. Like you can see where I'm stamping. And I'll put another one over here. Again, you could just leave them, but I'm going to make them a little more full as it's the end of spring, heading into summer. Okay, there we go. We have very full, fresh, and think about all the greens that Stampin' Up! Offers and all the different colors of green, from Old Olive to Just Jade. Mossy Meadow is the one. I'm sure I'm missing one. And after I tore that off of there, yes, we can resurrect that. Perfect. Okay. All right, now we're ready. I showed you the tree that I have already die cut and run through the embossing folder, so I can just take the adhesive. The reason I like the adhesive is sometimes it's hard to get the little glue dots on the tree, and the adhesive just makes it a little bit easier to get on there. Good morning, Cindy. Thanks for popping in. So I'm just gonna throw that on right there, and it goes on just as nice as can be. Then I'm going to use my Stampin' Dimensionals to pop up the little tree. And it goes just right on the top there. And I've pre-cut some of those birds. So, and the birds, when they cut, they cut like this, so you get them that are facing both ways. So you could put as many or as few on there as you want. I have a dimensional stuck to the table. Surprise, surprise. At least it's not on the bottom of my foot where it usually is. Thank you, Sandy. It's fun. All right, there's my cardinal visiting today. And then I also pre-cut myself a piece of linen thread, probably about 32 inches, and I probably don't need that much, but I always like to use a little bit more because I need that much to tie a bow. I'm going to tie a bow, so I just wrap it around. And good morning, Christine. Thanks for popping in. Kind of try to get it as tight as I can and tie a bow. Love the linen thread. It's always on my order for $4 or $5. It goes a long way, and just adds a nice little element to all of your kind of nature themed or masculine cards. Maybe I'll get the snips to snip that just a little bit, and then let's bring in our mossy meadow. Oh, that's just so pretty. And I always need thank you notes, so I was making it a thank you note today. I had been making it into thinking of you. Lots of people going through different things that I like to send cards for, but pop that piece on. And then I'll bring in the bumblebee base and attach that. And we're almost done. We have to put the sentiment on. I almost didn't want to put a sentiment on the front. Did we talk about this last week? It's like I always feel I should put a sentiment on the front, and it feels kind of naked or bare without it. So I always try to find a place to put it. I don't know. How do you guys feel about that? Do we need a sentiment on the front? Or would you just leave it? But I like it like that. But being I have that obsession, let me see if I can find our little sentiment piece. Here we go. That's all cut out in my bumblebee, and I have my thank you stamp right here. I'll get that, put that a little ink, just a little tap, 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 using my grid paper to make sure I've got ink on there. All right, let's try to get it in the middle of that little piece. What you could do is stamp on a larger piece and then die cut that out later too. But yeah, Cindy, I agree. Sometimes less is more, because then you think, oh, we could add jewels, we could add rhinestones. It's like, well, all right. So like I did on these others, I will show you it with the sentiment, and I just used glue dots for that. Pop a couple of the glue dots. Good morning, Candace. And pop that on here. Oh, did I get one? Nope. Okay. Hi, Joan. Thanks for popping in. And then there we go. So that's kind of the theme I had going for this week, was using the Beauty of Friendship stamp set and the Beautiful Trees dies, and just making a whole set of cards using the different elements in that suite with the wonderful designer series paper and the inks and the embossing folder. And there we go. That can be found on pages 10 and 11 of Stampin' Up's annual catalog. And on this Facebook Live, I will be putting it as a YouTube video. So if you want to see more YouTube videos, please pop over to my channel, Kim Plays with Paper. Join me next week. I won't be live. I will have a video for you, though. I will be on Stampin' Up's incentive trip. So thanks to all of the support from my friends, my family, and my team, and my customers for all of your support in my stamping business. It truly is a joy to stamp and serve you as customers. But I will have a video planned if all technology goes as well. Otherwise, I'll be back live with you in 2 weeks. let me know in the comments if you have any questions or something you would like to see me play with in the future. So you can find me at kimplayswithpaper.com. And thanks so much for joining me. Have a good day and a great week. Thanks. Bye-bye.